Shalom. Shalom, Yeshua. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praise, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Berkah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching 100% truth. Wa Barakathum to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. May peace and blessings be unto your households. All right, and it's your brother Gadal from the Great Millstone Dallas branch. And in this quick lesson, we're just going to get into how, you're going to be constantly changing in this truth, aka becoming more and more of that new creature, right? And the new creature that you're becoming is the creature that is patterned after ultimately Yahweh Shah, following the law, statutes, commandments, offending less, being more and more in the spirit, learning more in the scriptures, being a better brother, being a better teacher, just growing in all aspects and within, your walk. And for everybody that looks different, right? Some brothers might grow faster than others, some not so much, right? But it doesn't change the fact that, you're growing, because this is all that really matters. As long as you're growing, then ultimately you're good. You're growing and becoming more and more like Yahweh Shah, or patterning yourself more and more like Yahweh Shah to the best of your ability. Because we're not going to be like, we're not going to achieve to that point to where, we're on the level of Yahweh Shah. Never. Can't do that. But scripture says, man, we strive for the masteries, man. Right? So we strive to be like Yahweh Shah to the best of our ability, because he's the pinnacle of what a man is, pretty much. Right? He's the example that Yahweh gave us to follow. Right? I'm going to go ahead and get to 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 17. It says, therefore, if any man be in Hamashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. That's right. That's when you first come into the truth, man. When you first come into the truth, that's your start of being changed. That's the new creature being born within you right then and there, right? Starting to pattern yourself after Yahweh Shah. All right, old things are passed away, which is just a cut on how Christians like to say, if they still say this at this point, come as you are. Nah, man, ain't no come as you are, right? This truth requires you to change. It requires you to change for the better, though. It's not like you're changing in its worse. No, you're changing for the better. Now, it's not pleasing to the flesh. I can say that much. It's definitely not pleasing to the flesh. Flesh wants to do whatever the hell it wants to do, which is anything wicked, ultimately. But in the spirit, man, you're building up the spiritual muscles, man. Working out them spiritual muscles, for real. When you're being changed. You're becoming as a new creature, right? So the old things are gone. Brothers they used to smoke, don't smoke no more, right? Or, brothers that might have been, like to hit on other women or whatever. They don't care if they got a man. You got all people that come from all walks of life. So pretty sure there's a brother that was like that. And guess what? He put that away, right? Brother that was a thug, drug dealer, he put that away. Things like that. Because this truth, it requires you to change, right? And you're going to consistently be changing more and more for the better, right? Because you're growing within this truth. If you're taking it serious, at least you are. If you're not, then you're going to be stagnant, and you're just not going to get no better, and your mindset's not going to change, nothing, really, right? You're just a nigga that know he's an Israelite, like most of these 2/3, man. Niggas that just know that they're Israelites, right? And hyenas that just know that they're Israelites, right? And you don't want to fulfill that, man. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm an Israelite, and that's it. No, bro. It's one thing to know that you're Israelite, and it's another thing to be one, right? Being an Israelite, that follows after Yahweh Shah, man, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and get this. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 16. It says, for which cause we faint not, but But though our outward man perished, that old creature, yet the inward man is renewed day by day, constantly changing. You're constantly growing, right? You're constantly growing, even when it doesn't even feel like it, man. Was it Romans 8:28? For all things work good for those that love him, right? That love Yahweh Shem Shah. Roughly paraphrasing. So if you love Yahweh Shem Shah and you truly doing your best, then guess what, bro? You're renewing. The inward man is being renewed day by day. It's being renewed in ways you may not understand. Now, of course, don't get me wrong. Some days are gonna be better than others, but guess what? You're gonna be getting better every day, right? You're gonna be getting better, whether it's just a little bit or a lot, right? You getting better is also learning what not to do. You might have messed up that one day. Okay, now okay, let me make sure I don't do that. Let me, fight it more or whatever. Right? That's you being renewed day by day, man. Right? The inward man, the spirit, the new creature. Right? That old creature is being killed off more and more. And guess what? That old creature will try to come back. Them old habits will try to come back on you, man. And you got to be on the lookout for that. That's Satan right there. You got to be on the lookout for that. Okay. Like, you can't sit here and act like that. It's just, you just kill the old creature and it's just completely gone. No, it'll try to come back. Parts of it will try to come back. It might be fucked up, but it'll still try to come back. Be certain things that you used to like, damn, man, I ain't felt this way in years or something like that. Try to come back, and it's Satan. That's all it is. But yeah, man, it's true, man. You're going to be constantly changing, man. But changing for the better, if you are one of the Lord's, meaning. If you're not one of the Lord's, then you're just going to continue to get worse, right? Until eventually you get found out. Or, hell, you yeah, pretty much you eventually get found out. But anyone that's truly serving Yahweh Bashem Shah, man, they're going to be changing, trying to do better every day. Always having the Lord on their mind. Like, damn, did I do anything for the Lord today? And if you didn't, it's like, man, you actually feel bad when you don't. Instead of, like, most of these people, man, they don't give a damn what they do for the Lord. As long as they could call on the Lord when they in a jam or when they about to die or something, right? They don't care what the Lord needs or his wants. They don't give a damn. It's all about them until they need the Lord to get them out of a fucking jam. And I ain't gonna act like I wasn't one of them people before. I was, right? I was one of them people before. The Lord I got in the jam. Like, man, Lord, if you get me out this butt whooping, this ass whooping, please. And you'll get me out of it, which is kind of funny, but, not every time, but, he would. And but, hey, thank you. Go back on my bullshit. Shouldn't be that way, man. Straight up. True servant of the Lord, they're going to be always, they're going to be always examining themselves. Whether, are they doing the right thing to serve the Lord? It's an everyday thing. That's the inward man being renewed day by day as well. You constantly examine yourself every day. Like, damn, I need to make sure I do this, that. I need to try to be on point today to the best of my ability. Make sure I get some reading in. I gotta make sure I make lessons, watch the news, watching brother lessons. I might catch something. What you doing? You doing the best you can. Really, ultimately, you just. You got the fact that you even have the Lord on your mind and trying to take action with that, man, that's big numbers. Because a lot of people are not even doing it. They're not even giving the Lord a second thought. But yeah, man, that's all I really had to say in this lesson. Man, just in this truth, it requires change. It requires you to change. But you're going to be changing constantly. But I might word it different, more like you're gonna be growing on a day-to-day basis or something like that. We'll see when I put it up. But anyways, Lord willing, I was edified. On the end of Abba's hand, Kahala Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rechak Badash. Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time I say, Shalom Yasharallah.